What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with reactions to the classics, and today we got a fun one. We got a full album reaction to the Aces, When My Heart Felt Volcanic, and this comes courtesy of our patron Attire, brand new patron. Thank you, Attire. Appreciate it. I know we may do some more Aces down the line here, so really looking forward to that. Before we get started, please give this a big thumbs up. Hit the big red subscribe button below. And if you'd like to support us in any way like Attire does on Patreon, the patrons make this thing go. Please check out the Patreon link below. Also check out our Facebook group. Great music discussion every single day. And lastly, give us a follow on Twitch. Friday night live streams, Wednesday afternoon, and really any other time we feel like it. So all that out of the way, I really dug in to try to learn more about the Aces. Honestly, this old guy had never heard of them, but they were formerly the Blue Aces, and they're an American alternative pop band from Provo, Utah. They have 4 members. We got Katie Henderson on guitar, bassist McKenna Petty, and sisters Alyssa Ramirez, who plays the drums, and Crystal Ramirez is lead vocals and guitars. They began when Crystal and Alyssa were 8 years old. They were raised in a music-loving household where their father would dance salsa with them and their mother played 80s pop artists like Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson. Hey guys, that was my teen years. With a piqued interest, they began to jam out while studying and taking notes from their favorite bands on YouTube. That shows the different generation, right? You can listen to your favorite people. My 14-year-old daughter does it right there on YouTube. One Christmas season, they asked their best friend, McKenna Petty, to ask for a bass for Christmas. Soon after, the trio, all self-taught, formed the Blue Aces. They began to jam and experiment in their neighbor's garage. In 2008, the band was officially formed when Petty's friend Katie Henderson joined the group. Collectively, the Aces began to sharpen their talents, get their raw exposure throughout high school while performing locally at venues and bars, right? Just you're banging it out, man. You're grinding out, learning your craft and getting seen. I like it. In 2014, they decided to professionally pursue a music career after watching 18-year-old singer-songwriter Lorde win her first Grammy. That's the thing, man. You never know the effect you're going to have on people. She showed these girls, hey, look, it's possible. With no industry ties, they had no insiders, no help. The girls began their hunt for professional connections, first starting by working with accomplished producers. In 2016, Red Bull Records signed them. They got lots of comparisons to the sister act Haim, who are just tremendous, and we'll be having some stuff of theirs coming up soon. Having released their debut single, Stuck, almost 2 years before, went to 38 on the Billboard Alternative chart, the Aces released this highly anticipated debut album, When My Heart Felt Volcanic, in April 2018, following the viral success of their 2017 debut EP, I Don't Like Being Honest. It was met with critical acclaim when it was released. I read a bunch of reviews. Anymore nowadays, reviews are very short, so there wasn't much to glean out of those, but a lot of reviews, NME in particular, absolutely loved it. So all that out of the way, let's get to the first track on this album, Volcanic Love. We got 13 tunes on this album. I'm really looking forward to it. I have some research. It was hard to find research on this. I was kind of surprised because they are a newer act. Sometimes you can find more stuff. But Volcanic Love is a 80s inspired, hey, let's go right now, summer loving album opener, dealing with a romance that, although toxic and frowned upon, continues to burn with passion. Those are the most dangerous kind. Once again, thank you, Attire, and let's get after this. Volcanic Love. And hey, before we get into that, I forgot to mention at the start, the music will not be in the video here on YouTube, but there's a link below where you can click on if you want to listen along with me and live this thing out with me. Click on that link. If you just want to know what I think of these songs, stay right here. I've also got the lyrics up following along. Very simple song lyrically, not in a bad way. It's just a fun little pop song, right? Very tight production. Instrumentation's nice. She sounds fantastic. The end of verse 1, she's kind of talking about what I talked about at the beginning, this love that really shouldn't be working out, but she just have that passion. At the very end of verse 1, she says, while I'm looking forward, my mind is moving backwards now, because she can't get over this person. And then in the chorus, the chorus is very catchy. Even the pre-chorus, love, my love, volcanic love. You're burning me up. I know I just killed you there, didn't I? You're burning me up. Tell me how you feel it now. You're burning me up. I know you need it now. And then that love, drawn out, volcanic love. I saw where Crystal told NME this is one of her favorite parts of the album. She said, I really love the chorus of Volcanic Love because I think it's very emotional. Tell me you feel it now is probably one of my favorite lines because it's that moment of, quote, you feel it too, right? I'm not crazy because I feel so intensely about you. That just feels very human to me. I thought that was a great quote. I don't have a lot else to say about the song. I picked 3 favorites at the end, and I would find it hard to believe that this won't be in there. Let's move on to the next song, Stuck. According to the Aces, it is inspired by the feeling of being stuck in a situation you know isn't right, but don't know how to get out of it, whether it's a relationship or a roadblock in life. Huh. And then guitarist Katie Henderson says, I think that was a turning point in finding ourselves as a band. It was especially a great moment for our career because of the reaction we got to it. It felt validating to know we could get a reaction from people. Yeah, I can understand. I think it's that moment where you go, oh, this is not actually a hobby. People actually like this. So let's check this one out. Stuck. And I failed to mention the start. Remember, this is the song that was released 2 years prior to the album that went to 38 on the Billboard Alternative chart. Just excellent tune. Another one that just sticks in your head. Very well produced and mixed. I see a guy named Mike Crossy did that, so shout out to him. And shout out, before we get into the song, to McKenna Petty on bass. Excellent job. And also Alyssa Ramirez on the drums. McKenna and Alyssa both really, their musicianship really shines on this. Obviously, Crystal's vocals are nice, but it's a very well produced and put together song. And, I talked about the start. Verse 1, we talk till we're blue in the face. The words don't resonate. Seasons, they always seem to stay the same. I'm holding on to things we said we would change. I think most of us, we live for a certain time on this earth. You're stuck in a situation, and I know they said it at the beginning, it can be a relationship, a roadblock in life. This I very much just put in a relationship aspect as I'm listening to the lyrics or listening to the song and reading the lyrics. That relationship where, we got to change this. Let's have a talk about, okay, we're going to do better at this, but then you don't, right? So then another 2 weeks later, you have that same discussion. And then you're just, quote, stuck. It's like, we're either going to move forward or we're going to end this thing. Which one is it going to be? And then we're just stuck in it. Maybe because you're just familiar with it. It's hard to leave things that you're familiar with, even if they're not quite working for you. It's weird how that works, but you kind of just stay there. So the chorus, I'm stuck, baby, stuck with nowhere to go. It cuts, babe, because we're just taking it slow. It's overdue. Make your move. Stuck, babe. Stuck with nowhere to go. So do something. The other person in the relationship needs to make their move and do something. We need to get out of this situation that we are stuck in. So just nice, clever lyricism in the song. Really enjoyed it. I said it'd be hard for Volcanic Love not to be in my top 3, but now I think it's going to be hard for Stuck not to be in my top 3. So I probably ought to stop saying that, because who knows? I can have more than 3 favorites since it's not a top 10. So I very well might. Now we're going to get to Fake Nice. They said it was the last song written for the record. They also said, we wrote it about being from a smaller town and experiencing living in a big city for the first time while trying to navigate all the new personalities that come along with that. I am looking forward to diving into the lyrics to this one because Fake Nice. I've known a lot of fake nice people in my life. Fake Nice. I once again cannot stress how good the bass work of McKenna is on these first 3 tracks, especially these last 2. And then the guitars were fantastic with Katie, and I'm assuming Crystal coming in there because she is deemed as a guitarist as well as the lead vocals. I really like the lyricism on this. Crystal sings in almost a different octave there, just a little bit. Her voice registers just a little bit different in this song, which I don't know that I like as much, but still a really good song. And I think the lyricism speaks to most of us that like I said, have been around any time on this earth, because she starts out verse 1, you never say anything that I need to hear. Yeah, I could say participate in the BS or get out of here. And then the pre-chorus, all you do is take, like a river swallow up who's in your way. All you do is talk, really thinking that it won't get back to him. And then the chorus, oh, you know how to win them over, but not this time. Oh, she's so fake. And if they ask, I'll be honest, say what's on your mind. Oh, she's so fake nice. Had me sympathizing. Oh, you're so fake nice. So the thing is, in this world, there are good people out there. There are plenty of good people out there. There are plenty of nice people. There are plenty of people out there with good motives. But a lot of people we run into are fake nice, right? They're very nice to you because they want something from you. They think they can get something from you. Once they get that thing, they'll see you later or they'll stab you in the back. I think all of us have been in that situation, whether it's at work, whether it's a friend, whether it's a relationship, right? That fake nice, and I can't stand fake nice, man. Just be honest with me. All my life, I've confronted people on the fake nice stuff. I just don't have time for it, man. Life is too short. But nice tune, I wonder sort of what, if there was an event that led into this. I know what they said about it, but I wonder if there was an event that said, you know what, let's write a song about this. Now we're going to go to track number 4. Interesting title, to say the least. Loving is Bible. It's rich with religious themes. Sisters Alyssa and Crystal Ramirez have stated that they went to church as kids, and bassist McKinney attended BYU. We all have different beliefs, but still have such deep relationships, they explain. Our world today is so divided with our current political leaders and in a total state of turmoil with all the violence that's been going on. Now, as I film this, boy, that is every bit true, as we had events here in the U.S. last week with the storming of our Capitol. They said we wanted to take the chance through this song to talk about how our differences are smaller than they seem, and we are capable of loving and having real relationships with every person. If you put an extra effort into loving those around you, it will surprise you how easy it really is. Wow, that is a great message as I sit here in 2021. Let's check this one out. Loving is Bible. Loving is Bible. A lot of cool little things in there. Very catchy. Very, very catchy. There's a voice in there. It sounds like a male voice, but it very well could be one of them with the voice just treated. So that was a nice little thing that comes in from time to time. I do see all the religious allusions in here. I'm a Christian, so I could pick them out even if you're not religious. I'm sure you can. But she starts out verse 1. Well, you know I'm not religious, but your loving is Bible. So she's basically saying that's kind of her savior, because she says you can teach me how to speak your language, make me your disciple. Clever little wordplay there. In the first chorus, she says, making me feel like I could go crazy. You're the only one who can save me. I know you got me going crazy, but your loving is Bible. Your loving is Bible. And then it just sticks in your head. Verse 2, take me to your holy places, treat you like an idol, confessing all my secrets to you with no denial. So it's just the religious allusions are all over this thing. Just a nice, catchy pop tune, sticks in your head. Excellent instrumentation again, very well produced. And next up we have Just Like That. The band told NPR in an interview, this song is about getting empowered and deciding to cut the final ties to a person that never deserved you. Hopefully you'll scream it in your room and heal along with this. All right, let's get after it. Just Like That. Another nice song. You know, we're 5 songs in. We got 8 songs left. My impression so far, excellent production. Every song is so well done instrumentally and vocally. Very nice harmonies, which I haven't mentioned yet. A lot of times on the chorus that come in with the harmonies. I mentioned during the song, I really like the tempo change between the pre-chorus and into the chorus. It just really draws you in. Starts out right away. I took a car to your place. I wanted to see your face and you're calling me names. I slept in too late, burned my tongue, missed the train, all because of that look you gave. This person is bringing her down. Pre-chorus 1, my sisters say I should give up. My friends say you're not good enough, and now I'm seeing right through you. I'm seeing what they never saw. I like it because later on in the pre-chorus, that was her sister. Now later on, your sister said I should give up. Your friends say you're not good enough, and now I'm seeing right through you. I'm seeing what they never saw in you. So in the chorus, tell me, are you even in it? Because I'm done trying in a minute. And just like that, there's nothing left of. You can come get all your t-shirts. I don't like the way I look at them. And just like that, there's nothing left of you. So she's telling him, look, I've had enough. This is it. You're either going to step up or I am done. So a great message. I'll tell you what, boys and girls out there, don't put up with someone who doesn't treat you right. Don't keep going back and back and back. We all make mistakes, but don't keep going back if it's a pattern. Now we're to song number 6, last one. They said this was the oldest song on the album. They'd written it 5 years beforehand, and the song just kept coming back to them as they're putting together the songs for their debut. So I'm curious if the writing is a little less advanced because it was 5 years before. You know, growing as an artist happens pretty quickly when you're early on starting your career. So I'll be curious on the lyricism. Last one had a little bit in common theme-wise with the previous song, Just Like That. I thought it was a good song. I thought it was a nice little call and response. I mean, the response actually came almost first. I can't stop, can't start without you. You've been killing me, taking all my attention. I don't need another song about you. They're very good at making something stick in your head. In that second chorus, they repeat the line, "This is the last one," 12 times in a row till it just sticks in your head. I can tell what I kind of anticipated. The songwriting's not quite as advanced. Still nice. Still a good message. Basically, you've kept me sleepless every night. I swear this is the last one. Trying to brush you off, but you keep stumbling into my songs. I'm trying to forget about you, but this is the last straw. So like I said, theme-wise, very similar to Just Like That, the last track we checked out. Great vocal performance. Once again, the bass is on, the instrumentation is on. Just a really well done song. We're going to pass the halfway mark already on this thing with the next track, Strong Enough. And I'm wondering if I'm going to know this one because it was featured on the soundtrack of NBA 2K20, a game that I played quite a bit. Strong enough. She's basically asking this person, are you strong enough to stay in this thing? Verse 1, is it easy for you if I took time? Would you feel secure if I told you everything on my mind? Imagination can take its toll. Boy, it can, right? Let it run wild with some time. It'll turn you cold, because sometimes we can analyze everything to death and think, do they mean this? Do they mean that? Pre-chorus, had an off night, saving up your feelings till it feels right. Put up a good fight. If you can't throw a punch, then it don't feel right. And then the chorus, once again, I know I'm a broken record. They're very good at catchy stuff because you can't cover it up anymore. You got to play or don't show up. No. Are you strong enough? And you're coming on so tough. Are you sure you're strong enough to stay on my mind? Are you strong enough? And you're strong enough to stay on my mind. They just keep repeating that. So first two, we're too young to even know if we're a moment, if we're better alone. Don't make a promise. If you're going to run, give me no option. You're not strong enough. So had some good times sending our feelings through a phone line. Put up a good fight. If you can't throw a punch, then it don't feel right. In other words, you talk a good game. At times, it seems like you're really in this thing, but are you really? Are you strong enough? Because if you're not strong enough to stay in this relationship and be with me, then take off. So there is a predominant theme through their writing, and I like it. It's not everything doesn't finish just right. It's not a Disney movie. It's not happily ever after. And I'll get more into that in my thoughts at the end of this album. But I just noticed that as a nice theme in there. We're going to move on to song number 8, Holiday. Couldn't really find anything out about this, but their writing is very good. You can figure out what they're talking about. Sometimes in songwriting, it's so vague, you don't really have any idea. But so far, so good for the Aces. Really nice production on this. I mentioned really nice guitar after the bridge, before the final chorus. So great guitars from Katie there. And also on the last song, she was shining on Strong Enough. And I forgot to mention that in there. Kind of with the theme. I like this because it's more of the day, right? It's 2021. Right? Firecracker, I know this is written in 18, but firecrackers go off in my mind, posting all of the time so you'll see it. So bringing in this current day of kind of how relationships are lived sometimes, live and die through this screen right here. Do you think of me once in a while? Oh, you do? Not sure if I believe it. You say you're fine to go back in time. You got to get it right even for the night. The chorus, you say you want a holiday. I know just how to be your escape, but you don't. Don't do anything. Give me anything. And I can't be wasting time if it's fake. So, once again, calling it out. I care for you, but I don't know if you really care for me, and I'm going to let you know I'm not going to play your game anymore. So I like the way they really bring themselves to the forefront. And look, I'm not going to put up with you. I'm not going to let you walk all over me. A very, very good role model for ladies out there everywhere. Nice song. I mean, I don't have a lot more to say about it. Really well done. Mike Crossy is right on his mixing. The bridge was just so good with the effect on it as it amplified. Some of these songs have had some nice echoing on there too. They're not just sitting there putting out just every song sounds the same. So I really enjoyed that. We're already somehow to song number 9, Stay. Stay. Very 80s vibe. I said it during the reaction, kind of like Volcanic Love, the opening track. This is much more pop centric than almost anything I've heard so far on the album. I enjoyed it. Kudos to Crystal. She's a star in this because there's a lot of words in this song. It is delivered rapid fire, very difficult to do and sometimes overlooked when artists have to do that. Basically, she wants them to stay, right? You'll be breaking my heart if you don't stay, so don't let it go. Speed it up or go slow, because I need you to know you'll be breaking my heart if you don't stay. So she wants them to stay. They do a really good job in the bridges in the last two songs. They lower the tempo way down, and when artists do that, it kind of brings you in and draws you in, and she just goes right back to that catchy chorus. So a really good, fun song. Like I said, most poppy on here. Well, now we're up to the 10th track, Bad Love. And a lot of the fans think this might be a song about a lesbian relationship because Alyssa and Crystal are both openly gay, and so that's why I've avoided on a lot of these songs. I don't know if it's a girl writing to a guy, a girl writing to a girl. It doesn't make any difference, right? That's why I've kind of used them instead of her or he, whatever. We can all put our own context into the songs and play it out how it affects our own lives and previous relationships we've been in. So that's a speculation on this. I know in the follow-up album, I was reading an article, an interview they did with the BBC. They were more open about writing to a girl, but on this it's kind of left vague. So I've kind of left it vague out of respect for that. But many think that's what this song is about. I'll check out the lyrics. Let's give it a listen and see what we think. Bad Love. Great instrumentation. It's a little tighter, a little more up-tempo, almost a little funkier in a way, just an underlying little funk to this thing. Alyssa, great on the drums. Once again, McKenna on the bass, but guitars were nice as well with Katie and Crystal. I can see how people interpret this Bad Love as maybe a gay relationship who a lot of people think shouldn't exist. Chorus, first chorus, baby, they don't get us, never had this love before. I wish they know just how I felt, think they'd be ready to adore you. How could they call this bad love when all I want is more? And then chorus 2, baby, it's no secret, we can't hide it anymore. I wish they know just how I felt. Oh, they don't know that I adore you. How could this be bad love when all I want is more? And then the pre-chorus, they don't really need to know our business. They don't really need to know what we do. They don't really need to know where we go when it's just me and you. So I can see how people interpret it that way. Really catchy song, really a little bit different, like I said. Still poppy, but a little bit of funk in there, so I enjoyed that one. We only got 3 songs left. This was a very quick moving album for me, very enjoyable. Put It on the Line. I couldn't find any research on it, so let's check this one out. Put It on the Line. Shout out to Simon Oscroft, who produced this. I keep shouting out Mike Crossy for the mixing because he mixed all these songs, but we have a lot of different producers on here. But Simon did a great job on this because this has more stuff going on musically and changes musically than any song on here so far. Really enjoyed it. The instrumentation, once again, was tight. I don't know who this exactly is addressed to. Is it a lover? Is it actually a family member, a friend? I love the sound of When You Came Home. Oh, I was always on the side. But when you run me down and you run my mind, why'd you treat me like that? When you talk to me, it's always on your time, and I don't really need that. I thought you were family. You're not speaking to me. Make something out of nothing. Everyone above me, oh, and then goes on to kind of play that out. I liked between the first verse, the chorus, and the post-chorus. When we went to verse 2, the same theme, but changed up. It sped up, some differences in there instrumentally. Just really, really good. Really enjoyed this one because it was different. And when you get to song number 11 and it's not more of the same, and none of this album's been more of the same, but it's always a nice thing. Let's go to the next to the last track. We have Hurricane, which I see here in the notes on the side on Genius. It's a piano ballad. So let's check that out because we haven't had anything like that. Hurricane, I mentioned Put It on the Line was different musically. Wow, we get to song number 12, totally different. Great arranging, putting this in album sequencing to the next to the last song, something totally different than we've seen. Crystal sounds fantastic. The piano works great. I don't know who played it. Maybe it's a session musician. None of them are billed as piano players, or keyboards, so it probably was a session musician, but just really beautiful song. And I think it's basically about, I loved you and I think you love me, but now it's just not working out. I told you that I loved you and I meant it then. I'd never lie to you. I don't pretend, so don't make up that this was a fake love. So I guess the other person in the relationship's like, you never really loved me. I told you I always care. You laugh out loud. I try to open up and now you're freaking out. Was this made up? Was this just a fake love? So my best intentions are misinterpreted by you. And any of us have been in a relationship for long enough. Sometimes those things happen. You say something, the other person takes it totally out of context, and they keep doing it. It just gets incredibly frustrating. Like, you have twisted this off into something that was never that way in the first place. I like the chorus. You're blowing your cover. You're fueling my hunger. Oh, your pulling makes me push away, push away. Oh, you love me like a hurricane, hurricane. So that might be okay. A hurricane's chaotic. I don't know. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. You're making my mind up for me. Was hoping for a different story. Wished I loved you like it was yesterday, before our love became a hurricane, hurricane. Because at first you're like, is that good? That you love me like a hurricane, but now you know, no, that is not good. A very nice one. And we're to the final track, Waiting for You. In an interview with NME, I referenced it at the start. Alyssa said, Waiting for You is one of her favorites on the album. Let's finish this strong album out. Waiting for You. And I see they said in an interview when we were writing the track, we were really trying to tune into what the beginning of a new romance feels like. The excitement and anxiety and just desperately wanting that person to reach for your hand. The song captures that very moment of being on the verge of spilling of all your emotions to that person. And that's kind of delved out. Verse 1, I thought I made it clear as crystal. It doesn't have to be this hard, but you ain't good at reading signals when they come straight from the heart. I will tell you, though, it's been a long time since I've been in a new relationship. I've been with my wife for over 26 years, thankfully. But those times, it's always hard to read those signals sometimes initially. You don't want to read them wrong, but you don't want to miss them either. Pre-chorus, you've been thinking, overthinking, you've been thinking, babe, just a little too much. I wish you knew what I want. That really sticks in your head. I've been looking in the mirror, making little touch-ups. And the chorus, and I hope you know that I want you. I've been sitting here waiting. I've been waiting for you. I sent out invitations, those signals. You got to read those signals. It's getting frustrating waiting for you. I think you know what I want, and that just sticks in your head. I think at times on here, I think this was Crystal's best vocal performance, especially through the verses. At times, almost a little Norah Jones type, the great Norah Jones. So I really enjoyed that. Once again, the instrumentation was on point. The bass work was on point. And now we're going to get to my favorite tracks. This one's tough. There's 13 tracks on here, and I don't think there's a bad track on here. I'm going to go, and I said it early on, and I was actually right. I'm not always right on that for sure. I'm going to go with the opener, Volcanic Love. I'm going to go with Stuck. I'm going to go with Hurricane. And I'm going to go with this last one, Waiting for You. So I'm going to go with those four. Now we get to an overall score, and I'll tell you, 13 tracks is tough sometimes, but this happens all the time on the debut album, right? Because you have all these tracks. Stuck was a hit 2 years before, but they've been making music for many, many years. So you have all these tracks, right, that you want to get on that debut album. So a lot of times debut albums from artists that have been around a while are bloated because they have all this material and they have to have somewhere to offload it, and so they offload it onto that debut album. So that said, I don't think there's a bad track. I just said that there's not a bad track on here. I enjoyed all of these tracks, and there's some things on here that I found interesting, and I know it's a broken record on here. I don't usually talk about the bass very much on albums if you've watched a lot of our reactions and reviews, but I think the bass stood out on here, one, because she's really good. So shout out to McKenna on this. All the instrumentation was good. I didn't mention Alyssa a lot, but the drumming was good. And then, of course, Katie and Crystal on the guitars were fantastic. And Crystal is a really good vocalist. Not your poppy vocalist, but the bass stood out because you don't have that a lot on pop rock. And I don't think all of this sounded the same. I think they were very good at catchy choruses, right? So this is a pop album, but not your standard bubblegum pop fare where you just turn a knob and each song is just churned out sounding the same. All that to say, I really, really like this album. It's 13 tracks. Should it have been 10 tracks? Yeah, I just think that's a nice number. I think 10 tracks and getting under the 40-minute mark is probably the way to go. However, 13 tracks, 48 minutes didn't seem long for me. I'm going to be at a very strong 8.25 here. Boys and girls, this is not your standard pop music. Very good lyricism. Everything is just very well put together. Great producing by many, many producers. Great mixing. Really enjoyed it. So thank you, Attire, for bringing this to me. I think we're going to do some more of the Aces in the upcoming months. for attire. But really enjoy this one. Check out some of our other stuff at the channel if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, I will see you.